Friends, when I decided to join the modern Indian monastery founded by Vivekananda, when I told this to my parents, my father was the lead parent. So my father asked me the reasons why I decided that way. I told him my questions, all of my questions were answered by Sri Ramakrishna and his gospel, the book Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. And I don't have any more questions, and the responsibility lies with Sri Ramakrishna, which means I have clarity. My education happened well, I believe. And Vivekananda was the person through which one can understand Sri Ramakrishna. And what Vivekananda wanted from us is that we love this world, the humanity in this world, in the same way that he loved, that we feel for the humanity until almost our heart stops, our brain reels, all of that. If you read Vivekananda well, you would understand what he meant. So, out of that feeling of heart, feeling of oneness, we use our brain and we find method to alleviate the suffering of all the humanity. Vedanta helps us in that. And Vivekananda did not have much appreciation for the theoretical Vedanta, but more for the practical side of Vedanta. So he asked us to practice Vedanta in a way that is beneficial and sustainably beneficial, and the benefit should be of permanent nature in the humanity scale, and that we develop our skill with hand, so heart, head, and hand. So this developing skill and developing ourselves so that we would be able to serve the humanity in the way that Vivekananda wanted. For that, he has founded an organization because he fell in love with organization when he went to the West. So an entity or the idea of organization, and he has seen what an organization can do. So he understood that religion must be organized more than religion. Vivekananda's, Sri Ramakrishna's message, the spreading of Sri Ramakrishna's message must be an organized effort. And such people who would spread Sri Ramakrishna's message, which is Vedanta, should be practicing it and also spreading it. And for that, they need to be focused on it full time. So monasticism is an institution developed in India from ancient times, wherein people who are busy playing chess, if and when they are not able to see their game properly, some people at least should step outside the game, and from a point of view where they don't have any risk, they're not involved, but they can still see the game without any pressure. They can think and find out solutions for the game to be won. And similarly, monasticism, monks would be catalysts in a society wherein they don't involve themselves, but they quicken the reaction, the chemical reaction, which is the society, whatever is there. So with this idea, he has founded a monastic organization, and that organization has been running for more than 100 years now. And if I join that organization, I have the heart, Vivekananda had the brain, and Vedanta is already there. So there is nothing really much more to invent. But how to interpret that Vedanta into practical ways, and how to actually use our hands, which means our whole body, time, mind, energy, attention, into the service of this humanity, which Vivekananda loved so dearly, and therefore I also love so dearly. I consider this humanity to be my family. So if I join that organization, I would be able to learn how they are already doing it full time, and therefore my life would have the best purpose that it could have. This is my reply. What my father said is, you can do that, but why don't you do it at home? We will not force you to marry. You could marry or you may not marry. It is up to you. We will on the terrace of our own house, we can make you a room where you can have some solitude. And in our own town, there is this Ramakrishna Sharada Kutir, wherein there is even a good temple with a Panchaloha Vigraha of Sri Ramakrishna, wherein you can go and worship Sri Ramakrishna if you want and meditate. So all this is when it is all available here. What is the need to go and join that organization? What I said is, all of what you said is okay. I'm not even saying that I consider married life as something wrong or negative. Only thing is, if I am single, the time, money, energy, attention that I would have so that I could dedicate to the humanity for its welfare would be divided between me and wife and children, which I don't want. I want to dedicate all the time, money, energy, and attention that I have towards this cause. And that is the place where I can do it fully. And that is where such people are there in hundreds. They have been there for more than 100 years. So obviously they would know what to do, what not to do. They would know much more than me. They have experience. All of this was happening when I was 21. Actually, when I was 19, I finished deciding what to be done with this life. I stuck to it. I was saying, all of this happened when I was 21. Actually, by 19, I decided what I had to do to be a monk and join this Vivekananda's organization. But when I approached Paramarthananda Swami in Hyderabad branch, he asked me to sit. There was a guest, his guest, and he asked me why I wanted to be a monk. I told him something at that time. But at the end, he asked me what I was doing, what were my thoughts, etc. He also asked me what would my parents think about this. I said, I think I think they should be proud of it, because that is the best anybody could ask for from their child. Then he laughed at it and he said, you know that, but whether your parents know it or not, and whether they see it in the same way is a question. Anyway, because you are 19 and you didn't finish your degree yet, you are in first or second year, so you contact us when you finish your degree. This was what he said. So I took it seriously. Ultimately, they took me without a degree. But only then I knew that they could do that. But at that time, I knew already anyway that they wanted a degree for me to join. Why am I telling you all this is, when I joined, it was quite clear that I had no negative or negative opinion or an inferior opinion, an opinion where I see family life or married life as anything inferior to the monastic life. Only thing is whether you are doing it full-time or part-time, whether you are having more amount of time, money, energy, attention to spend for the whole world or lesser. But also, I said very clearly that I consider all of the humanity as my family, and I meant it. My father, by the way, this is just to mention, because because that memory is coming on top. My father told me that all this pursuit of spirituality, especially in monastic way, should be done when somebody is 60 years or 70 years, like that. Then I asked him, why were you not doing it anyway? Because you are 60 and 70. So if you do it, maybe I will stop doing it. So he had no answer for that. Anyway, this proves that I never had any opinion that is negative or inferior on married life or anything like that. But also, here it is also proved that what expectation I had from the organization that Vivekananda founded. And was my expectation unjust, unfair, or simply wrong? You can read Vivekananda's books and you can find it out by yourself. If you are too lazy to read the books, I will tell you that it is the correct expectation that anyone can have. All humanity actually has this kind of expectation from that organization because the whole humanity is burning with misery. Vivekananda said, "Oh, my brave children, how can you sleep? The world is burning with misery. How can you sleep?" So, this was what he was doing to us in our minds. No, I don't read Vivekananda. It's not just now. Maybe 10 years, from 10 years, I'm not reading Vivekananda because whatever we read, whatever we processed, that itself is not happening. If I read more, it only leads to frustration because I know what to do. I know what is to happen, but it is a teamwork, great teamwork. It cannot be done by one person unless that person is like Vivekananda. Even Vivekananda or Buddha or Shankaracharya, all of these people did not change this world as individuals. They had tremendous influence. Most people, this is a very wrong understanding. That they think that if you become a Vivekananda, Buddha, Shankaracharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or Sri Ramakrishna like that, the world would be changed. No. The world has not changed when they themselves have come. So you becoming like them will not make a difference in the world, except in terms of standing as great inspiration for people to mold themselves slowly, though surely, but very incrementally and very, not at all satisfactory level. Evil will still reign in this world. Still, very, very evil things keep happening. They are happening. We can all see around. To be harmonious in every dimension is very easy. I have the solution. I have the plan. Some people have the plan, but people are not able to do it, and that is verily Maya. And we are there to help you if you want to come out of Maya. You say very few people do that. Very rarely. I mean, saying that they want to come out of this Maya. But even among those people who say they want to come out of Maya, when the process actually starts, you cannot continue in that. For example, Vivekananda, we all love Vivekananda, right? If Vivekananda were today present here living in his body, we all want to go there. We all want to spend time with him. We all want to live around him if we can. But when he actually was alive, people could not live around him for a long time. More than 30 days would be like a hell if you were living with Vivekananda. He would transfer all his passion into you. You would either burn or you would become Vivekananda. You are not able to become Vivekananda, you cannot tolerate that burning, so you would leave his presence. Anyway, what am I saying is, there is no inconsistency or there is no U-turn that I have taken in terms of my respect for the way people live in this world vis-a-vis, I mean marriage, etc. The only thing is, when this organization itself is not doing what Vivekananda wanted, what Vivekananda had in mind when he founded this organization, and they're not telling you that they're not doing it. They never tell you almost, it is a policy. It is like our XPM policy. Not saying anything is also saying something. Not taking any stance is also taking a stance. This is the kind of administrative abilities they have. Anyway, so once I, with a lot of struggle, found out that they are not even intent on doing it. They are not able to do it, that can be understood. They are not even intent on doing what Vivekananda wanted this organization to do to this humanity. They're not even, there are not people who you can even count on fingers who are not able to sleep because the humanity is suffering so much. Well, I'm one of them, but I'm not able to find the others in that organization. I was not able to. And therefore, naturally, once when I spoke to the CEO face to face on this, when I confronted him, you want to use the word confronted. It happened very politely, but that is when he knew me all 11 years. In fact, he told one of my brother monks, even when I joined, like it was few months into my joining, we have an asset with us in Uddhav. He didn't tell me. He told this brother monk. And this brother monk told me. He said, Uddhav is bubbling with ideas. And also, Uddhav is like an asset, that, as I told you. So these are the words he told him. And he has told me, the CEO I was talking about, now he is more than CEO. So anyway, so this person, he took classes for us on rules and regulations of this organization as well for an year entirely. He has told so many anecdotes, he has told so many subtle points, etc. For all of that, I'm very grateful. We're all very humble in front of him. All of that is there. Grateful. Everything is there. But it's not that you scratch my back, I scratch your back. That is not the purpose of the organization, right? Unfortunately, that is what it has been reduced to. No, we all together, whatever we do, even if we entertain ourselves, even if we, to some extent waste our time, even if we fight amongst each other, whatever it is, if overall together we are able to do something to the humanity in the lines of practical Vedanta and really there, not just to show off. I mean, all of this work I consider show off, like running hospitals, hostels, and all of this, because behind it there must be the attitude of worshipping Sri Ramakrishna in all these forms, number one. Number two, we need to have a macro plan wherein all this humanity will become, harmonious in all its levels. Level of living, which means individual level, family level, society level, community level, society level, and in the level with nature, all of the humanity. See, spirituality and spiritual organizations cannot wash off their hands saying that we don't want politics, we don't want economics, we don't want sociology, we don't want culture, we don't want tradition, we don't care. We only care about something that we cannot see today immediately. We only care about things that might happen to us after we leave this body, after we die. So only in that we are experts, and we want to be liberated from all these things. Who really wants liberation, you tell me? Very, very rarely people want liberation because they don't even understand the bondage. Swami Trigunatita says this. They don't even understand what bondage is. If somebody does not understand that person is bound, why would that person want freedom? From where do you want freedom? From all these trees, these plants, and these people around, and the story, your story that you are bound to. Do you really want freedom from all these things? You want this only when all of these things are not favorable to you. When they are favorable to you, you would not want it. So you have no consistency in desiring freedom from all these things, number one. Number two is that you can be free of all these things in this form. From this form you can be free, but you will have to take another body. And then again you will have to deal with these trees, these animals, these other human beings, this material. Okay, you are saying that once I am attaining liberation, after that I don't need to even take these births. Then who do you think is Vivekananda? Who do you think is Sri Ramakrishna? Why did don't you think they were free earlier? They got liberation earlier? Sri Ramakrishna said there are 6 Ishwar Kotis in his disciples. Purnachandra Ghosh, Brahmananda, Yogananda, Niranjanananda, Vivekananda, and Premananda, I think. I don't know whether I mentioned earlier or not. So there were 6 people like that, Yogananda. So the others became Nityamuktas also. So they don't come for themselves, they don't take up bodies for themselves, but they do it for the whole humanity. And Sri Ramakrishna, when he took this body, he got hunger, he got sleep, he got motions, he broke his hand, he tolerated all the nonsense from people. Sri Ramakrishna's life was never easy. He was in Radha Bhava, Radha's Bhava, in his practice of devotion. He one day midnight, he was going to catch Sri Krishna as Radha, and his body stuck to a big bush of thorns. Okay, so it was all thorns, and his body was stopped by this bush, big bush. He was stuck there. Somebody had to rescue him later in the morning. Why is all this suffering? He was liberated. He was the person who liberates people. Still, all this suffering is there. So, apply some mind. This Janana Marana Chakra, Mukti from this Janana Marana Chakra is not real liberation. It is one kind of liberation. But that's not the goal. After that, what will you do? After you are liberated, what will you do with that liberation? Suppose I'm bound, so I'm doing limited things because I'm bound. Even if I want to do some other things, I'm not at liberty to do it. So you want liberation, fine, you are given liberation. But with that liberation, what will you do? What are you going to decide to do? You will still have to do something. You cannot have lack of activity. You cannot cease to act. Activity will still keep happening. You are that bunch of activities in Chaitanya. As Chaitanya, as consciousness, you are that bunch of activities. The thinking is an activity, analyzing is an activity, comparing is an activity, imaging is an activity, memory is an activity. Although very subtly done, all of these things. Choosing is an activity, expecting is an activity. What are you? You are a bunch of all these activities. Either they are happening orderly or disorderly fashion. If they are happening orderly, you are liberated. Fine, with that order, as that bunch of activity, where will you dedicate and direct all this energy, all this activity to? You will have to still dedicate all of this to liberate others. Vivekananda says very clearly, until the whole world is mukta, liberated, I am not really liberated. So that is proper religion and practical Vedanta that Vivekananda understands, and Vivekananda wants us to understand, and on that basis he has organized this institution. So where is this organization? This organization is now showing some activities, external activities, which they cannot shut down because the consistency principle is working, which thank God, they cannot shut it down. So they maintain. If they have to start something anew, they will be very, very careful, and then they will see everything is well, only then they will start that. But they are obsessed and they are stuck with these activities. These activities help you and help others gain enough chitta shuddhi that you can understand all these things that I just explained. Once you understand all these things, this activity is not really that important. If not you, somebody else does it. When in Vivekananda's time, there were no such non-governmental organizations like in millions. Now millions of at least 1 million non-governmental organizations are there who take up one or the other cause and then try to work for the society. They collect donations, they get income tax exemption. You are just one of them. Okay, you may be better than many other people. The whole flaw and misfortune of this organization is to compare this organization with the other organizations and self-patting yourself, self-congratulating, saying that we are the best organization that there is. Yes, I give you that. But if you are really spiritual organization, you should compare with the ideal, what ought to be done. What is the role you ought to play? With that, compare yourself what you are doing, not what the other person is doing. Like typically what an Indian parent would say, 100 by 100 is your goal, not beating the other person in exams. Anyway, I hope there is some clarity. The underlining point of this video is to say that my opinion and my resolve to serve the humanity has always been consistent, and my resolve that all the humanity is my family is consistent, and I do adopt whatever method helps me at the moment, given moment, in the given circumstances. Whatever helps me, whatever institution helps me, either it is monasticism or marriage or whatever other institution or other kinds are there, this person, that person, money or fame or whatever helps towards this goal, I take it as much as it helps. Otherwise, I abandon it. I see the circumstances. I am not responsible for the circumstances. I am only responsible to steer clear of things that hamper the progress in this way, number one. And I need to find newer ways all the time to adapt to the situations and go on. The goal is the same, the program is the same, the direction is the same. Now the means may be different. Okay. This is a great teamwork again, as I said earlier. I'm one player. I can do only my best. If you expect me to run it like a one-man show, it is not one-man show. And I'm least interested to do that. Okay. So the others might be trying to work it out like a one-man show. They may measure their success or failure on that basis. I'm not doing it. And I won't be forced by others to measure my progress like that. I will end with this. Vivekananda, very important, please remember. Vivekananda said very clearly, truth does not pay homage to society, ancient or modern. Society has to pay homage to truth or die. So, even if all of you society scream on top of your voice and holds a sword in front of me, that if I don't comply with you, you would kill me with this sword, I would not comply if you are not aligned with the truth. My commitment is to truth and not even to consistency. My commitment is to consistently be truthful and aligned to truth. My commitment is not to society. My commitment is not to a robe or a lifestyle or an organization, nothing like that. Okay. If all these things help, well and good. As much as they are helping, we will use it and go forward. If and when they are not helping, to the extent that they are not helping, we avoid it. Thank you.